Welcome everyone to our show, Get to Know Your Neighbor. I'm your host, Cameron Geesaman with Geesaman Homes. Each week, we interview local neighbors and businesses of Fishers, Indiana, and share their stories with you. Don't forget to click the like button, post an emoji, or comment below. And if you have any friends or businesses, I always say like newer businesses, but even if you have an old business of Fishers, Indiana, and you want to share them with us, let us know. We're always looking for unique opportunities and stuff to connect with businesses. So tonight, we are interviewing Rick Goren, who owns Technology Interiors and is the inventor of the new Rotoshovel. I actually visited him this last week at his location in Fishers and honestly was blown away. I had such a great conversation with Rick. From outside, it kind of looked like this small building, right? And then you walk in and there's this big space and there's even an entertainment area. And it honestly was a lot of fun chatting with him and just kind of learning. He is also, like I said, the inventor of the Rotoshovel. He allowed me to take one home and I used it this weekend with the kids. I posted on social media this week about it and it was really great. I honestly think he maybe made it for me because I hate digging. It's just something that I don't like doing, but I love being outside. And so I know my husband gets really irritated when I want to go plant something or move something. He's like, digging and all that. So now I'm really excited because now I can just be like, hey, guess what I did? I moved the plant and I did it all myself. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about talking with him. He has offered also to give away a Rotoshovel to one lucky viewer. So of course, stay tuned throughout. Most likely we'll probably talk about what the question will be later for you to be able to win. So you have to listen at the beginning to win at the end. So make sure to do that. I can talk on and on about Rick, but let's just welcome him on. So please welcome Rick Goren. There you are. Hi.
Hi, Cameron. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I really did have such a great time meeting you and seeing your location and everything. So thank you for giving me a little bit of a tour before.
Welcome. Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun. Well, we'll jump in. Always we ask, for those that are new to our show, we always ask a Fishers question first. So how long have you lived in Fishers and what do you love about the city?
I've lived in Fishers for about 25 years and I love the smallness of the community, but it still feels like a big city.
Yeah. So were you always in the location that you are now, or is that kind of newer? Because I mean, clearly you haven't been there the whole time.
Right. We've only been in this location for about 3 years. Previously, we were in the Geist area at the roundabout over next to Detour.
Oh, yes.
We were there for about 6 years. And before that, we were over on 96th Street. And then the economic downturn and the crisis hit in 2009. And we moved home for about a year and then went back and built another showroom.
That's okay. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your story. How did you come about wanting to own a technology company and then become an inventor? Because I feel like those are two totally different things.
In 1998, when I started the company, previously, right before then, I was a regional manager for a security communication company, and the company was purchased by Tyco for $2 billion, and they terminated all the employees on the Thanksgiving Wednesday in 1998.
Oh.
That's when I started the company. So we all went in and they gathered us up at the end of the day and had a little box, took us to our desk. Clean off your desk, pick up the phone, get a ride home, give me your car keys, here's your last paycheck. And I was so excited I started my own company. I think so, because I was the one that was out cold calling and calling on all the bigger facilities like Conner Prairie, Fishers High School, the Carmel High Schools, Snowville High School. Anything that was big was my territory for security communications.
Can you explain for those that don't know what security
Yeah.
Like, is that just, when I think of security, I just think of like the alarms, right? Like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, very large, elaborate alarm system. So video badging, so you have an ID to get into a building.
Okay.
Card access, fiber optic based camera systems that were spread out over campuses, intrusion systems, fire systems, intellectual asset protection, and hostage protection. So they were very elaborate
Okay.
government type security systems that I would design and build and propose.
So that's what Technology Interiors initially was, because now you do, because I didn't say this in the intro, but you've put in over 10,000 like theater systems. I said it on my social media, but because is that what you're now more known for, or is it still the security side?
No, I started out doing security because I felt like I was an expert and knew the field well enough that I could go out and knock on doors and create my own clients. And then as I would sell a security system, people would ask, can you install a TV or surround sound? And it turned into movie theaters. And I fell in love with the idea of movie theaters and always loved movie theaters. And we became the largest home theater company in Indiana.
So do you do all of Indiana, or is there a certain area that you won't go, like it's like too far?
We like to stay in the central Indiana, but we've gone as far as Chicago and Florida for some.
Okay. Florida's a little bit of a drive, Rick.
We've had clients that flew us to locations to put in systems for them.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so you still do all of that though. So at least at Technology Interiors, you do. Can you explain, at least for that, to start off with, what all you still do with Technology Interiors?
Yeah, Technology Interiors is an integration company, which means we take your alarm system and integrate that into your home automation, which would also allow you to control your thermostat for your furnace and air conditioning, allow you to control all your lighting, to create scenes so that it appears that you're not home, you are home or on vacation.
Right.
We can open and close blinds remotely from your phone. You can turn on your TVs and audio. We also connect the TVs to the audio system. So we have intelligent amplifiers. So if you go into a room to watch TV, it automatically turns the speakers on in that room to that TV, whatever source you're watching. So integration goes from the front doorbell to the alarm system, through the garage door opening, to the light control, to the thermostats, to the audio and video, including irrigation. And you can also do your swimming pool and your hot tub. And Tesla now is included in that.
That's a win for us. We love Tesla. Okay, so what was I going to ask? You said Tesla, and my brain just went by. See,
so you can charge your Tesla and make sure it's on the network.
Yeah.
Monitor.
Okay, so pretty much, really, when I go to a house, we've had a couple of houses that were true smart homes. Would you say that you're really just, if you do the whole process, you're truly a smart home?
Yeah, we're truly a smart home. We're in the Jetsons era where you can walk in and talk to the keypad. It has a little bit of artificial intelligence. It will recognize you, and you can ask Alexa to turn on any portion of the system or all of it with one command. You could say, Rick is in the house, and it will turn the fish tank on, light the fireplace, backlight the screen, turn the audio to a channel, turn the TV on all at one time.
I love that. Like I said, we've had a couple houses, and I'm always amazed. Now, they always say that things shift a lot. Do you feel like you're always having to try to keep up with stuff?
Yeah, it's constant. There's a constant learning curve to automation and home technology. And the TV market is in constant flux. A typical TV model only lasts about 3 months now. In the past, it used to last 1 to 2 years.
3 months?
About 3 months. That's it for TV.
As in, like, they're technically like outdated?
They name new models about every 3 to 4 months in the TV industry. It's very quick.
Is there a lot of difference in that year, or are they just making small changes?
A lot of small changes because the apps are constantly changing. Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it just keeps going on, and there's so many apps that they have to keep changing the platforms and software. And they typically don't download TVs. Most people just update them, but they just come out with new features and models constantly.
So, can you give us any insider? I don't know if you can even answer this, and I didn't ask you this before. Is there a brand of TV that you recommend?
I think
No.
I think LG and Sony are probably the best in the industry.
Okay.
The LG OLED is spectacular. Samsung has their QLED, and Sony has SXRD. They all have their own technology, but I've always thought that the technology that comes from South Korea and Japan and Singapore and Malaysia were better brands than what would typically come out of some parts of Asia.
Okay. I had to look. I was like, what do we have? Because Adam does like Samsungs.
Yeah, Samsung, LG, and Sony are the three tops.
The top three. Okay. Well, then he's doing okay. Because I was going to tell him he needs to buy new TVs. Come on. Get with it. Okay, so we talked about technology interiors, but you didn't really say how you then became an inventor, because here's the thing. You are an inventor. I called you a serial inventor on my page because I feel like you are. I came into your store and you had multiple things. So like, can you explain like what made you want to become an inventor? And then what was your first invention?
Okay, yeah, I was inspired by some of the people I worked for when I was young, who invented the digital communicator, which is the alarm system as we know it today. And so when I was in my 20s, the alarm system had a key switch, and it was a red and a green light, and it had two circuits, an interior circuit and a perimeter circuit. And I worked for the gentleman named Ron Gottsagen in California, who put a microprocessor in the alarm system so that you could, when you open the front door, it would know that it was the front door, or a motion detector, or window,
right,
smoke detector, etc. And he created that whole protocol, and they were inventing and patenting products left and right. And so I was always around the guys who were inventing and patenting all these amazing products, and they always inspired me to do something on my own. I also worked for the guy who invented OnStar.
Oh.
Here in Indianapolis, and that company went on to become one of the biggest technology platforms in the vehicle in the world. I worked for the guy who invented Australian Gold suntan lotion.
Oh yeah, that's here, right? We're here.
Yeah, that's here in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
He made a couple $1 billion.
I have a client that moved, relocated here, and worked.
Yeah. So I worked for a few guys who made from hundreds of millions to billions. And I also worked for one of the guys who invented the motion detector.
Oh.
So those products are ubiquitous now. They're everywhere.
They are.
And they're multi-billion-dollar industries. And then I have a best friend who made a couple $100 million, and he always inspired me to do my own inventions.
Okay. There's something about knowing people that do that and then actually doing it yourself, Rick, because I know people. Now I know you. I don't know if I still would want to invent, like, unless I really knew that it was going to be good. So what was your first invention, and what made you want to invent that?
My first invention was around 2008, 2009, and it was a Q-tip dispenser of all things. I was cleaning out my jar of cotton swabs, and the glass jar fell and broke. And I thought, well, I'll just go buy a cotton swab dispenser. And when I went to Bed Bath & Beyond, they said there is no such thing. And I thought, wow, how many cotton swabs were used a day? And in the U.S., it's about 9 million cotton swabs are used a day. And I thought, my gosh, there could easily be a cotton swab dispenser. So I invented one and landed Bed Bath & Beyond and Meyer and some of the national chains, and it did really well for a couple of years until it got copied from another country, and it got planogrammed out of the store shelves.
Mm.
But it was pretty successful for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It was a fun ride, and I learned a lot about inventing.
Okay.
From the business plan to tooling, to the plastics, to the packaging, to the barcodes and the design, and getting it on the store shelf.
That's awesome.
So from inception to the store shelf.
Right. Well, that was one of my questions. Like, what is your favorite, like, what's your favorite part of all of that process of like getting it, like, how do you take it from idea to conception? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think you start with a sticky note and a pen, start doodling. First you find the problem. Like,
right.
Ketchup bottle when we were kids, mom would turn it upside down so that we took the cap off. The ketchup was in the end. Now ketchup bottles are upside down.
They are.
And lotion, shampoos, and all the brands.
Yeah.
Are
There's a lot of brands that still haven't figured that out.
Yeah. And I also remember when I used to travel in the 80s, suitcases didn't have a wheel on them. There were no wheels on suitcases.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think the suitcase was invented about 1,500 years ago, and the wheels didn't come out until the 80s for suitcases. And now we have rollerblades and self-driving suitcases that will follow you in the airport. So I think you have to look for a problem and then find the solution and see if it's been built.
Okay, so which brings us then to the Rotoshovel, right?
Right.
So what? Tell us the story of how that came about and what made you want to make it, because I think it's a genius idea.
Thank you. Well, I went outside to bury some speakers and speaker wire and a subwoofer for a garden surround system. And we typically put audio systems out in the yard. And I went in the garage to pick up a post hole digger and a shovel, and there was a drill bit hanging on the wall. And I thought, oh gosh, there's all these power tools, the blower, the weed eater, the trimmer, the hedger. There's got to be an electric shovel. I'll just rent one. And as soon as I said electric shovel out loud, I thought, gosh, if there was an electric shovel, I probably would have owned one already. And so I went inside and started drawing pictures, and I came up with what today is the Rotoshovel, and it's the automatic handheld shovel with auger. And that's really how the inception was. It was a problem on a Friday night. I didn't want to dig all night, and came up with the electric shovel. And so that next Monday, I was so excited, I called 2 different attorneys to find out if it was patentable. And so I hired 2 different attorneys for the patentability search, because some attorneys aren't as thorough as the others, and some aren't as motivated. So once we did the patentability search, we found that there was no automatic handheld shovel with auger in the industry. The closest thing was a farmer in Indiana in 1876 invented a wooden handle with 2 spades on the end that he would turn to put post holes in. And so there was nothing even close for an electric shovel. And then, so this is the Rotoshovel.
I flipping love it.
And that's the first version. We have a second version in production right now. This one's 24 inches and 12 volts. And the second one's about 46 inch tall, a 36 volt engine, and it will dig 1.5 feet deep by 4 inches in about 20 seconds. So we think,
when's that one coming out?
We should have our first supply in June. And we already have orders, many orders pre-sold.
Yeah. Might have to bring yours back and get that one. I'm kidding. So my question to you when I saw you was, can it dig through clay? Because we're in Indiana and we all know that our soil is rock hard. And so sure as hell went straight through the clay. It just now there were moments, because we're in a new build area, like our area is not old, it's newer. So there were a lot of rocks, and rocks would sometimes get caught in it, but then you would just kind of scoop out the rocks and just keep going. And it went straight through the clay.
Yeah, it's easy to use. It also has an automatic shut off feature. If you hit a rock or root, it'll shut down.
It does.
Yeah,
yep.
So burn up the motor.
So what sets it apart from someone who's like, okay, but I want to dig a hole and I'm going to go buy one of those, I'm just going to call it an auger, right? Because right? So what's the difference? Explain that for people who aren't familiar.
Yeah, an earth auger is just a big auger with no shovel portion on it. So the shovel keeps it stable in the ground when you're digging and holds it from torquing and twisting your wrist. And it also has automatic shutoff. And this is a much easier product to handle with this linear form faction. The soil tends to move in front of you out of the hole so it doesn't spray all over you and it can't twist your wrist. So there's quite a bit of difference between using a drill with an auger and using an earth auger and the Rotoshovel. The Rotoshovel is much safer and cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, our kids used it. They were like, Mom, can we use it? I'm like, sure, try it out.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. And so the bigger one also is very safe because it has the 18-inch shovel and it cannot torque. So there's it won't twist your hand. And it's a single person auger, whereas most earth augers are two men that'll still rip your wrists and tear your thumb off.
Yeah. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
We think we're going to have the safer version.
Yeah, well, already it was safe for me. I could use it. I have a bad back and it wasn't like bad for my back. And I could just kind of sit there and it was kind of nice because I didn't feel like I had to use a ton of pressure. Like I just kind of was going along and we didn't do it for a long time, but I had a pretty decent hole. And so I'm excited about digging bigger holes.
Well, we're getting some traction with it. We're ready online at Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, the Grommet, and a few other portals. And we've been on Good Morning America and on Fox and Friends. We were just on with Chip Wade on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting national exposure, and we're hoping to get it into the Costco stores by fall. If we do, it should just take off like a rocket.
I'm telling you, for anybody that, if you want to come over and even try mine before you purchase one, I really liked it. So I'm excited. Well, tell us, I'm going to step back a second because one of the things that I absolutely loved when I first talked to you is just how you run a business. And, clearly customers they come back, they really love you, but you kind of talked about your morning routine with your team. Can you kind of tell our viewers about your morning routine and why you do that with your techs and stuff?
Yeah, I have 12 employees. I tend to go in, I'm first in and last out. And every morning I go in about 7:30 with breakfast for the whole company. And then we have a gratitude meeting, and each one of the guys in there has to give me 2 good things that they're grateful for. And it starts the day on a very positive note, and you end up with a very happy staff that's just heard 25 or 30 positive aspects about their counterparts. So we're all very close to each other. We're more of a big family, and they love the breakfast, and they're very grateful, and they promote that every day.
Do you try to change the breakfast up each morning?
We do. We have croissants with scrambled eggs, cream cheese, and bacon, and cheddar. We do bagels. We do muffins. We do quite a variety of breakfasts all week long.
So if I show up, hi, I don't work here, but I was wanting breakfast because I don't eat breakfast ever. Because it's a hard meal to do every day, I feel like.
Yeah, breakfast is for breaking fast. That's what it's for. And so the first time you break fast, you're welcome to come and eat breakfast with us. I also and the guys have fun with it every day.
Well, I love that. Well, we're nearing the end. I'm going to get to the question here shortly. So for anybody that's still on that wants to try to get the giveaway, but what's your favorite part of what you do, Rick?
I think my favorite part of what I do is paying it forward and making clients happy. I always like to give them a better deal than they can find anywhere else, and then exceed their expectations. And we have more A's on our and more 5-star reviews on our Google and Angie's lists than I think any other company in Indiana that's in the integration business. Matter of fact, I think we have more than most of them combined. because customers love our guys so much. We typically get them every single day.
Well, they show up with their bellies full and ready to go. They're grateful.
Yeah, my guys are happy. Nice uniforms, clean trucks, and
Yeah.
getting to put in the most luxurious parts in the industry.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And when I first met you, I could feel kind of that vibe of that positivity. I think we need more of that in this world. And just like you said, paying it forward and making sure that we're, bringing that to our customers, not just what we put on our face. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference. And so
Yeah.
getting those reviews are huge.
It's genuine gratitude, and the clients see it, and they recognize it, and they appreciate what the guys do. They'll stay late on a Friday night. They get there early in the morning, and they do a really fantastic job. And we also have our own fabrication person who paints and patches every single, so that if we make any boo-boos or have to cut a hole in a wall and patch it, they can't tell that we've been there.
That's huge, because that's half of the problem. A lot of times I'll have somebody like say that they had something done, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's right there. Like,
yeah, we don't leave any marks anywhere. So when we leave, the guys typically get tips. Go ahead and get out of here so we can use our.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we'll get to the giveaway now since we're airing towards the end. The giveaway works this way. For anybody who answers, it's the first person who answers, and of course they have to answer it correctly. But you will get a Rotoshovel that is from Rick. We'll get it from him and then get it over to you. Maybe he'll even sign it for you. I'm really excited. I kind of want to know who's going to win. So the question, love that. I swear when we turned it on, the kids went crazy. What year did Rick open Technology Interior? So I'm going to leave that up for a minute, but can you tell people where they can find Technology Interiors as well as Rotoshovel if they're interested in having you come in and do a movie theater or security or get a Rotoshovel?
Yeah, Technology Interiors is located next to Gigi's across from Topgolf and IKEA at 116th and 69. And the Rotoshovel office is behind Target. But if you want a Rotoshovel, just come into Technology Interiors and buy a movie theater. I'll give you a Rotoshovel.
That's one way. Here, have a movie theater, and you can have a Rotoshovel at the same time. I did have, so his website, which you have to just go visit the location in Fishers. It really is great. So you can actually sit in this room, not that one, but one of the others, where it has stuff and it kind of goes through, what he does and what kind of equipment he does. And then you can even buy a TV if you want, but all different stuff. And then let me go back over here real quick. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to stop that screen share, and then I'm going to share his Rotoshovel. Let's see.
And we're going to be back on Good Morning America on June 16th through the 26th.
Oh, okay.
They're doing
what
another.
Time is that usually at, Rick?
That'll be in the morning on, I think with
Good Morning America.
Yeah, Good Morning America with the whole team.
Makes sense. It's called Good Morning America. You'd think I'd know what time that is, Rick. I don't watch normal TV.
They start about 7:30. They usually have us on about 7:45 to 8 o'clock.
Are you actually flying out there and you're going to be on it?
No, it's Tori Johnson Productions, and she does Steals and Deals, and it's a pretty big show. They have about 4 million viewers.
Wow. Okay. I don't watch normal TV, unfortunately, but here's some information about the Rotoshovel, and then you'll probably post on the bigger ones as well once they come around, correct? Yeah,
the Max is on their website, and we're starting to take.
Oh, there it is. I found it.
Yeah, there's the. Max.
So it has both sides. So it's not just like if I'm sitting on the ground shoveling. This is kind of a bigger.
Yeah, that's industrial.
Okay.
That'll do landscape and irrigation and.
How long does it take to charge that battery?
That one takes a couple hours, and it has a 4-hour charge, and the little one takes about an hour and a half for a 2-hour charge.
Okay, that's amazing. That's really good. Ooh, we have a comment. Let's see if somebody won. Oh, a friend of mine said she loves Deals and Steals, which
Yay.
now I might have to watch that because I've never watched it.
Yeah, they're really popular. I think they have talking mirrors and they do a lot of lady products. So the Rotoshovel's been really well received with the lady audience.
Yes. Well, because here's the thing. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Like I'll get dirt under my nails. That doesn't bother me. That it's somewhat cathartic for me. I like doing it. But when I have to dig a hole, it's not easy. Like, especially if you're using that small shovel, right? Whereas this is going to make a much bigger hole and I don't have to work as hard.
Right, and it's safer for you. And most women aren't going to pick up their husband's drill and put an auger in it and go out and drill a hole in the ground. It's not very safe. It'll break your wrist.
I mean, Cameron might try that, but now I don't have to. I didn't even think that I could do that. It was funny when you said Rotoshovel, like I thought, oh my gosh, that's genius. Why didn't I think of that? Because how many times?
Well, and we have 2 patents now too. So we're pretty excited about the future of the product.
I'm excited too. I really am going to share it with everybody that I know. I can't wait till you have it. Of course, I can send them to your store in Fishers, but for anybody that keep an eye, of course, like on Costco and stuff like that, where you can get it too. But if you don't want to drive to his shop's pretty cool. And then you can sit in his theater and listen to stuff. Adam might not ever leave when he goes next week. So that could be a problem, but hey. Well, I appreciate your time. We didn't have anybody answer yet. That doesn't mean that it won't get answered later, because that's always usually the case. People have to like scroll back because when it's live, they can't always get to the stuff fast enough. So I always think it's funny, but I appreciate you coming on and kind of talking about your both entities, right? Because I think they're both awesome. And I think especially in this area with more houses being built and most of the houses around here have basements. Do you mostly do basements?
Yeah, primarily
Computer?
A lot of TVs, a lot of audio systems.
Yeah.
A lot of everything. We're in the top 100 in the United States now.
Oh my God.
For integration.
Yeah, that's really awesome, Rick. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on. Next week, for those of you, again, that are watching, we're going to interview Jeff Lewis next week. That's May 27th at 7:30. He helps run Mustard Seed Indie. That's where you can actually drop off stuff, and then they help families in need with furniture and stuff. So it's going to be a fun one next week as well. But Rick, thank you so much. I can't wait to see what Rotoshovel does. I love that you're right here in Fishers, and I just love that. I just think it's really awesome.
Thank you, Cameron. That's great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful night. Enjoy the warm weather, and we will see you guys next week.
Okay. Thank you.